Welcome to CareerFeedU, a program dedicated to bridging the gap between awesome companies and talented students, helping you land that internship or job opportunity.
Coming up on this week's episode, Taylor Chobanian headed to Milwaukee to talk to the CEO and founder of DateCheckPro, a new startup helping grocery stores save a lot of money. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hello, my name is Megan Tachik.
And I'm Amy Mandrell.
Amy, have you ever been to a grocery store and checked the date on an item, only to reach further back to find one with a longer shelf life?
Oh yeah, I never thought about that. It must be a pain for those employees who have to pull all those products forward.
You are so right, Amy. It is a pain, and that's what Andrew Heft, the 19-year-old CEO of DateCheckPro, had to do in his time at Festival Foods. It became so tedious and time-consuming that he took it upon himself to create a complex Excel spreadsheet to solve the problem and save his company over 6 figures.
Wow, that's a big number.
Today, his company aims to help other grocers solve this problem, and this week, Taylor and crew headed to the DateCheckPro office to interview Andrew, who also happens to be a UW-Whitewater student. So let's go take a look at DateCheckPro and see what Andrew's company has to offer.
So Andrew, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm actually originally from Onalaska, Wisconsin, and I'm now a student at Whitewater. I'm a junior this year, but I'm actually slowing my education down because I'm starting my company, which is DateCheckPro.
Can you tell me a little bit about DateCheckPro?
Sure. I actually got the idea for the product by working in a grocery store trying to pay for college. Last summer I started rotating products and checking for their expiration dates, and it was a very manual process. They were saying, go check a section. So one week I'd check the entire cereal. I would pull every single item off the shelf and check every single one and put it back on the shelf and make sure none of them were expired. I realized right away that if I automated a piece of it, I wouldn't be checking items unnecessarily, and I could be a little bit more proactive in it. So I started out with the basic version of the software, which actually ended up saving the company I worked for $140,000 in the first year in labor time. And actually, since then, I joined the 94 Labs incubator and now in the accelerator, which allowed me to get the funding, the support I needed to get the idea off the ground and put it into the software that it now is.
So how exactly does DateCheckPro work?
DateCheckPro tracks the expiration dates on all items across the entire grocery store. So what that does is that instead of grocers checking whole sections of their store, like I was doing, checking the cereal aisle, we're actually taking them on a very targeted approach. They're going to the one cereal box they need to check, in the one syrup they need to check each week, and only pulling that item off the shelf and making sure that that one item isn't expired. That's based off of the closest expiration date that they see, and then they enter that, and then we offer things like location filters, customizable settings that make it a lot more user-friendly for them.
And did you come up with this idea on your own?
Yep, it was basically just out of frustration. I was getting bored spending 30 hours a week checking items, and I said, it's got to be a better way to do it.
Which leads us to 94 Labs. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what it's done for you?
Sure. 94 Labs actually, so it's an incubator program originally, and so that gives us a seed investment, enough for us to take the idea from the napkin idea to a working software, and then with their network, it puts us in front of the people we want to, or are very good for our company as far as advisors that can point us in the right direction of how to take our idea to customers, as well as put us in front of the right potential customers that can help us shape our product to something that's very valuable to them.
Nice. What are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced as a young entrepreneur?
I think the biggest challenge for me is my credibility. People look at me right away and say, how does this 19-year-old know anything about the grocery industry? Mm-hmm. And I come back at them and say, I worked and checked these items for 4 years of my life. I know the pain point, and I understand that it's a pain point for you, and I understand my technology, and that tends to get past it, but it's rough first few minutes of the meeting when they think I'm this kid who thinks I'm a know-it-all and actually don't.
What are some of the biggest advantages of being such a young entrepreneur?
I think the reverse side of it is actually that being young, a lot of the have been successful entrepreneurs look to me and see themselves when they were young and starting their company, so they want to offer advice to us and want to help get my company off the ground as kind of a way of giving back. So that's really helpful.
Can you tell us any interesting facts or numbers about the grocery store industry?
So it's actually interesting. One of our potential customers shared with us, we went into numbers of how much they lose in expired items. And they told us that 0.5% of their sales is what they lose in expired items in a year, but that's actually $500,000. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot of money per year that they lose. And so that's why we're trying to step into the space with our software and cut that down.
Are there currently any job openings available or internships here at DateCheckPro?
We actually, not yet, but soon in the future we're actually going to be looking for some different salespeople as well as some people to help us with some customer support pieces. So that's probably within about this time next year.
Okay. Is there any advice that you could give to young people that are aspiring to be young entrepreneurs?
To be honest, just do it. You've got an idea. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a student, you've got an idea. In fact, you've probably got a lot more than one idea. Pick one, start talking to some people, and get it off the ground, because you're never going to know if it's going to work until you're actually trying it. You can find out fast, but at least try it.
Just a random question. If there was one person that you could have dinner with, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
I gotta say Steve Jobs. I know everybody else would say that too, but as an entrepreneur, Steve Jobs was a notch above everybody else. He seemed to know something that nobody else knows, and I want to figure out what his top 10 reasons or top 10 tips are to be a successful entrepreneur.
Wow, what a great story. It's awesome that he's doing all of this and at a young age.
It really is. When I shop now, I might think about his company when I'm checking those item expiration dates.
Me too. And the key points to take away from this week are: 1. Andrew didn't just start with an idea. He created his Excel prototype, proved it worked with Festival Foods, and now he is building his business. Remember that it helps to prove your idea to some capacity before spending a lot of time and effort building the whole thing. 2. Andrew was accepted into 94 labs, a Wisconsin business incubator that gives thousands of dollars in mentorship to young people like you in order to make tech ideas a success. 3. One of the hardest but most important parts of starting a business is doing just that, getting started. Have a bias for action and just get your idea off the ground.
Well, that's all for this week. We'd like to thank Andrew Heff for speaking with us. We wish him and his company the best of luck.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next time on CareerFeedU.